Murdoch. I'm coming to get you.
Remember, Sally, when I promised to kill you last? I lied.
Get off my plane.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
John, I'm not gonna shoot you between the eyes. Shoot you between the balls.
The disease. And I'm the cure.
I'm gonna take you to the bank, Senator Trent.
There can be only one.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Yippee-ki-yay. I'm going to kill them all, sir.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Give Me Back My Action Movies, the podcast. I am one of your hosts, Charlie. With me, as always, is Nate. Say hello to the people, Nate.
What is going on, everyone?
This is totally not the third time we've tried to do the intro.
Definitely not the third time of the intro. I'm not trying to hold back giggling.
Oh, no. Nate didn't drop his microphone and cause massive reverberations through the sound.
Not at all.
I didn't screw up the name of the podcast. We're professionals.
We are very professional, and we know what we are doing.
That's right, man. That's right. Lord, I'd hope so. I think we're closing in on 70 plus episodes. I don't know the exact
That
count
don't mean
yet.
shit.
It really doesn't. No, we're still two monkeys trying to figure out this thing banging on a computer
There
screen.
might be a grand total of 7 episodes. I went, that wasn't too bad.
I don't know if there's 7. I just picture that thing from, what was it? Was it Zoolander, where Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson are like monkeys banging on the keyboard trying to figure
that's
out.
basically it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's us. That's us. Although I look more like the Rock version whenever he had Chris Kattan on Saturday Night Live and they were doing the Monkey Men and he's like holding Chris
when they're
Kattan.
doing Mr. Beebles or something like that.
Yeah, it's like Mr. Beebles. And it's the Rock is holding Chris Kattan like a small child. That's what it would look like if you jumped in my arms, though.
It would be.
It's not far off.
Mr. Peebles.
Mr. Peebles. That's awesome. I have no idea where we got onto that.
I'm a little upset. Tracy Morgan is in town this weekend, and it's already sold out.
Oh,
missed my opportunity.
I really thought you were just mad that he was in town.
No,
I'm
was
a
my
little
opportunity to see him, and I missed him. That's like, one of my favorite SNL castmates. He could just walk out, start slapping his belly, and that'd be it. And I'd start laughing.
I took that as I am so disappointed that he's in town.
Period.
No. Just period. I'm so
and then that's
disappointed.
the end of the sentence. That's the end of my thought.
That's it. I'm just so disappointed that he's near me. I don't like it.
You know what I wasn't disappointed with?
What were you not disappointed with?
Watching Reign of Fire for the first time in like 15 years.
Oh, has that been that long?
It's
for
been
you?
that long for me.
Dude, this is a yearly watch for me. If not more, I adore this movie. I really do. Excellent segue too, by the way.
I have them sometimes.
I know. Yeah, we're on top of it.
I go from talking about Tracy Morgan to dragons.
We're professionals. That's what we do. No, man, we are covering Reign of Fire, man. It's dragons. Okay, I'm in.
Actually, they are technically wyverns because they have 2 legs and dragons have 4 legs.
Do they call them dragons in the movie?
Well, I imagine it's one of those things where when you're being chased by a dragon, you're not going to turn around to look to see how many legs it has. You're just going to be like, holy shit, it's a dragon.
I've done that with a little lizard chasing me.
And yet there's going to be that one asshole, though. It's like, actually,
it's a fantasy character. So shush. It's a dragon. They're dragons.
Jim Jones didn't use Kool-Aid. He used Flavor Aid, but we all call it Kool-Aid.
You got a good point. Is the Kool-Aid man the glass jar, or is he the liquid inside the jar?
The liquid.
You think he's the liquid?
I think he's the liquid.
I
the
think
liquid
he's the
is
jar.
The soul, and the jar is the vessel.
Why can't the liquid be blood?
It is on my leg. I got the Kool-Aid man bursting out of me.
Oh, that was not what I thought at all.
Nope.
That's why Yep, we're just gonna skip right by that.
Right by
I think we're just gonna go ahead and play the trailer.
All right, we can do
Let's
that.
get that. And
Is this the trailer where it shows Matthew McConaughey die in the trailer?
Yes.
But you don't know that until you see the movie?
There was a very quick cut. Although one of the trailers had no words. And I was like, yeah, again, that doesn't work for what we do here. So
how did that work even back then?
I have no idea. I don't. Why?
It just showed dragons. And I went, cool.
Dragons. Wyvern.
They're called wyverns.
Werewolf.
No.
A creature has been awakened that has lain dormant for millions of years. A species older than the dinosaurs and more terrifying than anything we could have imagined.
How did they go from 1 to 1 million in less than a year?
Highly evolved.
They have great vision in the day. They have even better vision at night.
Extremely intelligent.
He's playing hide and seek. More like cat and mouse.
Unbelievably powerful.
2 glands in the mouth secrete separate chemicals.
Combining exhalation, natural napalm.
Good luck.
Now, one will protect them.
We have to hang on, work together.
And one will lead them.
There's nothing magical about it. They're made of flesh and blood. You take out their heart, you bring down the beast.
We found out where they started. We're going to London.
This summer,
Vertical one up.
the plan is set.
1,600 yards, closing fast.
The arsenal has been assembled.
Get ready to rock and roll. For each other!
And they've got one chance to take back their world. Matthew McConaughey, Christian Bale. Reign of Fire.
I still remember the first time I saw this trailer.
Oh, same. That's why it was the Matthew McConaughey jumping at a dragon with an axe that stuck out to me. I was like, need to go see that movie. Because you know what? I was 13 when this movie came out. So I was the prime target audience for this.
You were. What year did this come out again?
2002. I remember seeing this in theaters.
Damn, I was 22. Yeah, we watched this in theater. There was no way I was not going to go watch this movie. You know, this one had, even just in the trailer, it was that was just screamed everything I wanted in a movie. You know, Matthew McConaughey, Christian Bale. I saw tanks. I saw like a wasteland, like almost post-apocalyptic world.
That was the big thing. It was the fact that we're not actively fighting dragons. Dragons have already won. We're surviving. That was the big standout moment in the trailer of like, well, hell, now what's going to happen? And just like, this movie has incredible fire effects.
And it wasn't in the past. You know, you hear dragon movie, you think, okay, it's going to be Dragonheart. I love Dragonheart. I love
Dragonheart.
Movies.
Don't get me wrong. Dragonheart's fantastic. Give me more James Bond and knock off Han Solo.
Exactly. I'll carve your heart out, dragon. That's a bad word. Don't call me that. You know, that whole thing. But no, this one, man, it was everything I wanted. So as we get into everything I want, I think it's time we read the back of, and yes, VHS. This has a VHS release.
Well, this was getting towards the tail end of the VHS life cycle, though.
It really was. So I am going to read you the back of the VHS of Reign of Fire. Matthew McConaughey and Christian Bale star in an explosive, action-packed adventure with bone-charring special effects that will have you glued to your seat. When a London tunneling project uncovers an unearthly fire-breathing beast from centuries of slumber, all hell breaks loose. 12-year-old Quinn sees his mother, one of the workers, die trying to escape this new terror. 20 years later, as a fire chief, he tries to keep a group of refugees alive with fierce dragons dominating the air, burning the land, and feeding on the ash. Unexpectedly, Van Zandt, Matthew McConaughey, a hotshot American militia leader, shows up with a ragtag group of slayers on a perilous crusade to hunt down and destroy all the beasts. Tempers flare when there's a struggle for leadership until both men realize only one species is getting out of this alive.
You know what? I don't even need the back of the VHS to sell me on this movie, though. On the front of it is fire and dragons. And the most badass looking Matthew McConaughey of all time.
Those that know me just know I have modeled the majority of my adult life after Matthew McConaughey in Reign of Fire. I have shaved my head and I rocked a goatee for Lord Nate. I don't even know how long I rocked that goatee before I went full beard, but it was Matthew McConaughey, Reign of Fire, period. I've wanted to do the tattoos he has, the giant tribal dragon looking tattoos on his body. I don't know if I'll ever get as cut as he is in this movie, but
he's ripped. This whole time, though, I thought you've been trying to mimic surfer dude Matthew McConaughey. I have been very mistaken the whole time of knowing you.
There's
I
no
see you, and I definitely go, yeah, man, that's a surfer dude. Big
all right. And that's gonna be my biggest bitch and regret when it comes to Hollywood and things is, why is this the only Matthew McConaughey badass movie I've ever gotten? Like, I always loved him in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Generations. Is that the one?
The Next Generation, which is like a remake of the first one from the original writer who directed it.
I loved him in that because it's that crazy, maniacal, just insane Matthew McConaughey. And then he's been in, like, I don't know, a billion chick flicks. And then he tries to sell me a Leakin'.
But then that first season of True Detective is incredible.
I've not watched True Detective.
Oh, he hits a man in the face with a toolbox.
Well, I like that. Was he bald with a goatee and tattoos?
He's all strung out, like balding, like long hair. He looks like he's smoked, 3 packs of cigarettes for 20 years in that movie.
I don't want that Matthew McConaughey. I don't want that Matthew McConaughey.
He is so awesome, though. A metal toolbox to the face.
He's a fantastic, because I've seen stuff like Interstellar and things like that. I love him in the movies he's done. I've seen a handful of the
missed opportunity to have an action hero.
Only time he's done, and I mean, he nailed it. He nailed it. Could you imagine him in any other scenario? I could see him fighting predators, just like we saw Adrian Brody.
Yeah, definitely.
I could see him in any, just any of those like everyman kind of action movies. The Die Hard knockoff style movies that we kept getting.
He'd be fantastic in.
I'd love to see him as a villain. I think he'd be an amazing villain in a movie.
He's in a movie called Killer Joe where he is very diabolical. It has one of the most uncomfortable final acts I think I've ever seen in a movie.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's almost a villain in this movie, and I love how they walk that line with him in this. But this character, I swear, I think Brad Pitt probably watched this movie half a dozen times before he did Inglourious Bastards, because he's like, I got at least match the energy Matthew McConaughey's.
Even Matthew McConaughey in this with the tattoos and just his looks, I'm like, all right, well, you're channeling George Clooney from Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah,
as well.
I mean, but I don't think George Clooney was nearly as ripped. Like, he was fit. He was fit, but he had the big tribal tattoo on his arm and everything. But this is the bomber jacket with the sleeves ripped off. I already looked at Jackie and went, time for me to find a bomber jacket. It's been way too long without one.
My memory of this movie, though, was definitely he had a giant beard. And when he did it, I went, oh, I guess I just kind of add that on in my own head.
I don't think it would have. I think it would have worked either way. He could have had a full beard. He could have had the goatee. It's probably what he could have grew. They're like, shave this hair, but grow this hair. So that was their plan the whole time on that one.
And now, like, this movie was not a success. It flopped.
Again, what is wrong with people, dude? What is wrong with people?
Couple things. They don't like fun.
That's true.
That's one thing.
I have learned that they do not like fun movies.
They don't like movies with dragons because we don't really have that many dragon movies. I also found out when doing my research of where does this stack in my other world of dragon movies, and it basically goes like this movie, the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy, Dragonheart,
Well, we
like
talked.
Desolation of Smog. I can't fully count.
No, but
You
it is
know,
an awesome dragon scene and a
awesome
good
dragon,
fight.
fantastic, but your
I
whole
still
movie's getting to him.
I
You know,
still say we should have got the entire run of Aragon, the dragon books. We got that one movie, which I still say I enjoyed the hell
I
out of
imagine
that movie.
we'll get like a TV show. They're doing that
Hell,
Percy Jackson as a
yeah,
show. I
but
imagine same thing will happen.
you're not. But then all of a sudden we get like Game of Thrones, and everyone's losing their minds over dragons.
Yeah, and
And
now
I'm
we're
like,
getting House of Dragons this month.
and it's like we've had dragons, we had awesome. These effects stand up till still. I got
Oh,
the Blu-ray of this
This
movie, and I'm
is the Jurassic Park of dragon movies.
absolutely. I love the
CG,
Oh, dude.
90% of the time works. There's very few moments where it was touch up, but the CG dragons look great. When they turn into practical dragons, they look fantastic. They look massive and fierce.
Oh, God, dude, I love it.
Like when you see them down on the ground dead, it's like, holy shit, these things are huge.
And it's not like the one scene where Christian Bale's walking past the dead one after they down it. Now they would have just been walking by green foam stand-ins that they would overlay later.
Oh yeah,
He
definitely.
was walking past an actual practical prop.
He's having actual reaction to what is near him.
Yeah, and
Now,
it is massive. So the scale is right for all of
I
that. No pun
also
intended.
think this movie was like 5 years too soon. Because this is right before we get the Matthew McConaughey renaissance, where he stopped doing all the chick flicks and started doing more serious dramatic roles.
Yeah.
Christian Bale blows up after Batman. And then we get Gerard Butler in 300. It's like this cast, those three dudes, like 5 years later and make this movie would have been a huge hit. And this is another one of those rare times where a movie had a definite ending. There was no need for a sequel, but you could definitely do a prequel to this, take place in America or something.
You could have placed this anywhere in the world. It was a global issue they were dealing with. I think my whole thing is they wouldn't have been able to get all three of these 5 years later. They got all three of those characters because it was when it
exactly because of where they were at in their career.
Still, as much as I've watched this, when Gerard Butler pops on, you're still like, damn, this is early Gerard Butler.
It is, like, and he doesn't really get utilized too much in this.
No, he really doesn't. But he still fits. He still fits the character. They've given him the best friend. I think one of my only other things that I feel like they were trying to show Christian Bale was capable as far as being tough. He does the whole shirtless scene where he's freaking ripped. He's almost Batman ripped, just not as bulky. But then he kept getting his ass handed to him by Van Zandt. So it's like you tried to show me that he could at least maybe gone toe to toe and held his own, but Van Zandt dominates him pretty
quick. It shows such a great dynamic of how the Americans have handled themselves compared to how the Englishmen have.
Yeah, we blow shit up.
Englishmen are starving. They're eating tomatoes raw, which I would never do in my entire life, even in the middle of an apocalypse. I'm not eating an apple, or I'm not going to eat a tomato like an apple.
Right. I mean, if it ain't ketchup or pizza sauce, I ain't eating tomato anyway.
That shit is not happening on my watch. I'm not like, tobacco. Not happening.
Tobacco. Oh, Nate and his Simpson references.
Tastes like grandma.
Oh, God. Ashtrays. No, but again, just getting into that's the only three of the cast we need to even acknowledge in this movie, honestly, is those three. Everyone else is fine. They do a great job in this movie, but you're completely focused on Christian Bale and Van Zandt, 90% of the movie.
Yeah,
the girl's awesome. I mean, but I guess the only good thing about her is they dance around the damsel in distress at the end.
But she's still a badass the whole
She's
time, which is
still a
awesome. They don't water
badass.
her down, which is awesome.
No, I think she should. I wish that she'd have been a little less panicky at the end. I get they make the joke like I expected to be 30,000 feet up in the air, and I'm like, they fly, right? It's the same amount of danger up there than it is on the ground, so I think you'll be okay. But
But I love the dynamic that this movie has of American versus Englishmen. Like when the Americans roll in, they have tanks, they have motorcycles, they got a helicopter. The Englishmen have
a castle
armored up. Yeah, they have a castle, an armored up fire truck, basically,
and horses,
which is really cool to see. It's like, all right, they're not using motor vehicles; they're using horses.
Well, I'd have to imagine
heavy artillery. The Englishmen just have your basic rifles because you got to think about it. Overseas, they do not have weapons like we do.
No.
So this is stuff that they've probably have just gathered while trying to survive. Like, I know people gripe like, oh, they don't do much in this movie. It's like, well, no, they're trying to survive. Like, they're not going to be going in guns ablazing. They're scared to, and I don't blame them.
They're fortifying and they're surviving. They talk about that they've dealt with marauders in the past. They don't have a lot of ammo. I love the little shot of when they empty out the ammo box and there's like 10 rounds inside the ammo box. So it's like this
it's
moment.
Very, Mad Max.
It really is.
I've always the Road Warrior where that double barrel is so iconic, never gets used.
It almost never has ammo in it that at least works.
Or exactly. When it does get used, that's a bad shell.
Yeah. Other than throw the kid out on the hood of the truck going, get me that shell. Just keeps pointing at it. Get it. I need it. Good old Vernon Wells trying to kill everybody. But no, and that's another draw to this movie was, I loved everything that made it feel like a Mad Max, but with dragons. But back on the whole American thing, I love the fact that they made it a militia, a military type of endeavor, not just. They could have done it as marauders. They could have done it as anything,
mercenaries or something.
But this turned into militia that are essentially dragon hunters. So we still get that medieval dragon story in this, the type of quest that they need to do. They're trying to
you get an objective of like, there is a male dragon. He's the one that's spreading the seed onto the eggs.
That's the only thing that still is like there's only one male and
one male.
They make a comment going, there was only one at first and then there's a million within a year. And I'm like, I'd be tired. I would be a tired dragon.
That dragon needs a nap.
He needs some OJ, peanut butter jelly sandwich.
He needs a Gatorade, a nap, just alone time. Actually,
little bit, little electrolyte.
Yeah,
hit him up tomorrow.
You gotta stay hydrated.
He'll be fresh. That's my only thing. There's only one male. Come on, maybe one male per region. I might have bought that a little bit more.
Yeah, I could have bought that a little bit more because then it would have all right, now we gotta get to America.
Yeah. That dude's got to cross oceans to get over there, and he's like, crap, I got to get back home.
Now I gotta go to Australia, and that continent's just trying to kill me in general. But Europe is calling me, and I can't leave Europe alone.
Well, Europe is home, which
if only there was a way that I could do maybe Europe and Asia together, but I'm just so exhausted.
You would need a planner. You would need a secretary that just kept your schedule.
How you could, keep it all straight. It's a busy male dragon.
It's a very busy male dragon. So there's the only one issue I think I have in this entire movie is one dude dragon just king of the coop. That's
but I love how giant, lethal, and intense these dragons are. And then when you do see the male dragon, he is even bigger and more fierce.
Yeah. I like the idea too that they're not just eating people. They're eating the ash of what they burn.
Yeah, they survive off this ash, basically.
Yeah, so, okay, yeah, they burn people and eat them, but it's not like they're hunting humans just to hunt humans.
I think it's the equivalent if we ever did have like an alien invasion. It's just like we are ants, like what ants are to us. It'd be kind of the same thing. Like,
Like
you know, you just happen to be in the way of what's going on.
Mars attacks,
Yeah.
and just vaporize everyone. Oh, Mars attacks already in Rain of Fire. I don't know how we got there already.
The movie still holds up.
Which one? This one or Mars Attacks? Because you're
Both.
correct on both as far as I'm concerned. That's considered an action movie. We could do Mars Attacks on here. It's our show. It's our show.
It's our show. We do whatever we want.
Do whatever we want. We're doing a Matthew McConaughey movie. Everyone would normally think it's a chick flick.
We're doing a PG-13 movie. We've
Right.
only done like 2 of those.
How is this? I think that's another like nail in the coffin for how well this movie did was it's PG-13. There's no reason.
No problem with it.
No, but I think I would have liked a little bit of blood. I would have liked a little bit of seeing a skeleton charred. I mean,
You could have gave me a little dragon blood, I guess.
Matthew McConaughey dropping the F-bomb as an American totally would have fit. You know, Christian Bale and Gerard Butler telling him to F off. You know, that's exactly what I would expect the conversation to go as. Don't even give me gore. Just give me them cussing each other out as an English to an American soldier. I'm in for like 5 minutes of them just dropping as many
that'd be
swears.
awesome. Just insulting one another.
Yeah. You know, that's it. And this was probably one of the greatest entrances till I saw Captain Jack Sparrow come in on the ship. Where Matthew McConaughey, and it's not so much the entrance when we first see him, which is still awesome because he's riding the tank. It's when he comes into the compound, he is straddled over the 50 cal like it's his manhood.
Yeah.
And he is just riding that thing and he's having the time of his life. Like, yeah, that's right. I'm the badass. I got all this power.
I'm the one that runs these parts. I don't care about no dragon around here. Also, I can't go home because there's no one that knows how to drive a boat.
Our plane went down,
So I'm
man.
kind of stuck here.
Yeah. I bet if he had a boat, but you know, they were on a mission to get to London. They had figured out that was, you know,
The epicenter.
The point of everything, which I guess that makes sense because that was the only news article that would have first said anything about a dragon attack.
I do love that we get a Time magazine cover of
That
the
was
dragons
awesome.
attacking.
I would like
great,
that. I would
but we
like
also
that.
know Time magazine probably would have named the dragons as the people of the year. Because they always are dipshits about stuff like that. And the dragons would have definitely been, well, they're just a misunderstood gentle creature. Why can't we both share the space with them?
We welcome our dragon overlords.
Yeah. Maybe if we put them on the cover, they won't eat us.
Right. Yeah, I mean, in the midst of dragons attacking, we got to get that Time magazine out on print. You know, we got.
I have a deadline, damn it! I want pictures of dragons.
That's the J. Jonah Jameson instead of Spider-Man. Bring me pictures of dragons.
Sir, just look outside.
Did Spider-Man bring in the dragons? I know he's a menace. He's a menace.
A menace to society, and he's in league with Dragon Man. That's a good name, patent pending.
I think there's a Dragon Man. I'm pretty sure there's a Dragon Man somewhere.
Yeah, J. Jonah Jameson probably named him.
I really think
we owe him $10 every time we say it.
Damn. I'll just get insurance through whatever the insurance commercials he runs right now. Because as far as I'm concerned, he's always going to be J. Jonah Jameson. Period.
Forever.
Forever and ever. What else we got, Nate? Come on. I don't even want to talk through this movie. We've kind of
we don't have to. I mean, the movie has cool concepts. When the Archangels.
The Archangels are badass. Was it life
I would
expectancy
not
of
in general? But when there's dragons involved, I'm definitely not doing it.
No, that's my whole thing with the helicopter. I'm still not getting in the thing.
No.
I'm Christian Bale at that point going, that's their territory. And before Matthew McConaughey goes, we're taking it back.
I don't think you can take it back. It's
I,
theirs now.
I don't think that's a possibility, Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, well, they got a life expectancy of 17 seconds.
Yeah, and the kid wants to be one. He's like,
Yeah.
of course he's going to tell you you'd make a good bowler man. It's just extra fodder out there. There's a reason that dude's still alive. He recruits new people, and they go, you go first. That's how he is the longest surviving archangel. Well, I mean, talking about the guardian angels and where we were talking about archangels, sorry, not guardian angels. It's kind of the same thing. But where this still holds up as far as like visuals, those whole sequences where they do jump out of the helicopter to, capture or, drop the dragon. Their whole goal is to get nets around the wings so that they can ground the dragon and deal with it.
No flight zone.
Right. And that whole segment of the almost like the point of view flying through the clouds is still amazing. It's still,
you know what it
really
reminded me of, but like 15 years before it?
What's that?
The skydive scene from one of those Mission Impossible movies that I don't even remember. Which one? Because I get all the names confused, but it was definitely whichever one where Tom Cruise is skydiving and the way the camera's aiming on him and like
the one he does the halo jump.
Yeah, like I got that same vibe from this of these guys instantly going down. They got their net guns, and of course it doesn't work. And then the dragon, just how terrifying it would be that you're falling and you can't escape this thing. It has wings; it can control itself. You don't.
Right,
you're done for.
They have what looks like not the full on like squirrel suit, but they have enough to kind of like control how fast they're going.
Yeah. Gliding or guiding themselves.
And I have a question. This is another.
I am one to answer all the questions on the podcast. We all know this.
Well, this comes down to the archangels. They make a pretty specific comment of where are their parachutes. They don't need them, and then we get the life expectancy line. I watched one of them dudes pop a parachute when he fell.
When they like talk about all that too, I was like, so these guys just die then, right? Like
my guess is
you get them to jump out and they're dead. They're constantly recruiting and they're dead.
My initial thought was when they fired the bolas, the nets, they ride that down with the dragon.
They ride the dragon.
Wouldn't you want to? I mean, if I'm already up
then
there,
I would not want to be called an archangel. I'd be wanting to be called a dragon rider.
I would if I'm not going to do that. But
like
if
I
was
change
doing
my
that,
title, that's what my title would be. Like I don't want to be called an angel. I want to be called a dragon rider. That sounds way more badass.
See, I think it would have been fun to have a little background of one guy on there, and he's like, Mike over there. Mike's always trying to ride one, and that's his whole thing. He doesn't shoot the gun till he gets onto the back of one. And Mike he just barely always misses.
My name's Mike, and I'm gonna ride a dragon.
I'm riding dragons.
I'm gonna ride a dragon. My name's Mike. You're like, all right, Mike, calm down.
Mike's not like all there. He's kind of like the Steve from Multiplicity, where he's gonna eat a dolphin. This is I'm gonna ride a dragon. And he's like, no
one makes a Multiplicity joke in 2022 except for you.
I do. I love Michael Keaton in Multiplicity, dude.
You know who doesn't like Michael Keaton?
Who
HBO, apparently, because they canceled his Batgirl movie.
Yeah. Oh, wow. We get into that on the live stream the other night.
Bullshit.
90 million. Gone.
Poof. You know what scares me? The Evil Dead movie is supposed to come on HBO Max.
I don't think it's an HBO thing. I think it's a Warner Brothers thing. I don't think it has anything to do really with HBO. They just have a deal with HBO.
Just don't cancel my new Evil Dead movie. I will fight someone.
I totally think it's a Warner Brothers DC situation because they're in damage control for everything right now. Between Ezra Miller, I'm waiting for him to just show his dong to everyone. It's just, I'm waiting for that. He's going to go on Twitter or something and just, naked across the screen.
Like, crazy stuff he does. It's just like, yeah.
He got to go.
Yeah, man. Like, I realize that was $200 million that you spent, but like, how about we just don't release that one?
You know, they've already had to try to replace Amber Heard in a movie that was almost done. And, you know, now it's like they're just damage control right now, man. That's all there is to it.
DC has like one fire extinguisher, but there just keeps being multiple fires put up by the dragons, and they don't know what's going on.
You know what help would be multiple Michael Keatons like it was in Multiplicity. Yes, bringing it around again.
Well, no, because then in Flashpoint, he would have maybe multiple Michael Keatons, possibly, depending on the universe what Earth they're coming from.
They're all from multiverses, and each one of those Michael Keatons has become a Batman, but they're all like slightly different Batman. And then you get Steve. I'm the Batman. I'm Batman. I'm gonna eat the Batman. No, you are the Batman. That's right. I got a wallet. That's a bat belt. I got a bat belt. That's the whole.
It's just, I don't know. Now we got Batman in this movie as well, though, and I just picture him being like, "Swear to me, dragons, I'm Batman."
Dragon, swear. I don't think there's room for Batman and Matthew McConaughey in this movie. There's just no way, man. You couldn't fit Batman in this movie. Batman would have solved it after like
McConaughey.
Batman would have. Jesus. Well, Christian Bale is in this movie, technically, I guess.
Yeah, so that's why he just be yelling at the dragons.
Swear to me,
Rachel. Hold on, Rachel. I'll stop the dragons.
I can't. I can't.
You think dragons are your ally, Batman? I was molded by the fire, Batman.
What is this? Is like our Blob episode. What the hell is going on? It's not late. I'm not drinking. What the hell is going on? Now we have Dragon Bane running around out there.
Can you imagine Bane just punching a dragon? That's his whole goal.
I will punch the dragon, Batman.
I will mold it like me. Face me, Dragon Man. You merely adopted the fire. I was molded by the fire. God. All right, man. I think we need to hit a commercial. We need to gather ourselves up. It's Batman Reign of Fire Beyond. I don't know. It's commercial.
You'll still think you're the hero at this.
The Transformers will return after these messages.
Just how drunk are we gonna get?
Welcome to Good Beer, Bad Movie Night, where each month we drink finely crafted brews while watching terrible films in order to see just how drunk you have to get to enjoy them. So tune in and join Troy.
Killboy Kreitz.
Oh, that was pretty good.
Thank you.
Dave.
I have the weirdest boner.
And Pete.
IPAs are ales, meaning they are bottom fermented. Excuse me, they are top fermented. I that up. Try that again.
As we drag Kathleen,
Hear me.
kicking and screaming through an alcohol-fueled podcast dedicated to movies of questionable quality and the frosty adult beverages that help make them tolerable. Good Beer, Bad Movie Night. Clearly, it's the beer's fault.
We call upon the power of Double Dragon. Billy and Jimmy lead in their Double Dragon cruiser battle Shadow Master on his Shadow Raven.
Fire! Rise over, Shadow Master.
Double Dragon. Figures and vehicles sold separately.
Go get him, Dragon Walker! Go!
Dragon Walker, Battle Armor, He-Man, and Skeletor, and Merman each sold separately.
Step right this way, He-Man!
Batteries not included.
What's that? Dragon Walker! Take that, He-Man! May the mightiest power prevail!
New Dragon Walker vehicle for use with most Masters of the Universe figures. Action figures each sold separately. From Mattel.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, the podcast that's based on the old school, but can still help you find the good stuff from today. Dangerous Dan Colley, the Professor Jimmy Street, and the Plastic Sheik Jared are the undisputed six-man tag team champions of the wrestling podcast world. From thought-provoking topics to superstar interviews to action figure expertise. This trio does it all, and all they ask is, give me back my pro wrestling! Every other Thursday, wherever you listen to podcasts.
We now return to the Transformers.
Dragon Walker, Dragon Walker. That
Do you
go ahead.
Remember the Dragonfly toys?
Yeah.
From the 90s?
I was looking at those commercials too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember, like, you had to pull them and it would spin them and you were supposed to, try to fight them. Like, I think I had the red one. My brother had the blue one.
Please don't get offended when I say this, but you remember when girls had their own separate toys, but they had to be like kind of the same thing? And
they had the fairy ones
that would fly off,
I want to say one of my cousins had that one.
Sky Dancers or something like that, I think is what they were called. But I was listening to that commercial just now, and it was like, the Dragon Walker works with most He-Man figures. And I was like, most? What is it? Oh, that's right. Ram Man didn't fit into shit. You couldn't put that dude in any vehicle. I'm like, I was literally sitting here going,
big bone.
I was like, I could fit Too Bad in vehicles. What are they talking about? I was like, oh, that son of a bitch, Ram Man. You couldn't put him in anything. Oh, so that's the fun I get to have with the commercials, man. It's not just show commercials. I get, He-Man and Double Dragon toys, dude.
I don't even remember Double Dragon toys, though. That's the crazy part. Yeah.
They had, I
feel like that's something I would have wanted and my mom wouldn't have bought for me anyway.
I think they had like a short-lived cartoon. I mean, they obviously had the movie, but these...
No, they had the cartoon because that's where they had the mask. Like, they would transform, basically.
That's what this commercial was. They put the masks on. They're in a car. And, every superhero needed a car in the 80s and 90s. Superman even, I think, had a car at one point in the Superpowers.
Oh, how else is he supposed to get around? Fly?
Right. Exactly.
Stupid. God.
Stupid. Batman's already got a bat plane. I don't need, I need a car. It's lame.
Damn. Dragonflies is $80 on DVD. I guess I will never get to see that again.
That's expensive.
Yeah, it is.
That's excessive for
one season.
For a TV show strictly for the toy. It's not like
for VHS tape, though.
It ain't like that toy came out before the show, or the toy came out before the show, not the other way around. That's it, man.
How else are we supposed to move product?
It's just, how did I not get Reign of Fire action figures? I want it now. NECA. I want a Matthew McConaughey from Reign of Fire figure now. Give it to me with his axe, with the bomber jacket.
Too late.
That I can take. It's not. I want the bomber jacket removable so I can see the tattoos, and I want him to have. I know it's not the right thing to do, but he needs a cigar. I know we got a Hellboy with a cigar, and that one's freaking expensive. I want a Matthew McConaughey as Van Zant with a cigar. Axe, bomber jacket, no sleeves. Do it, NECA. Do it. Do it.
Do it.
No balls. Do it.
No balls.
No balls.
That's how we get things done around here.
That's right.
We let companies know they got no balls.
And NECA, no balls.
And now some guy at NECA's like, I got big ones. I got such big balls that I'm gonna put my big balls on Matthew McConaughey and get that toy released.
I don't think that's how that works.
I don't know how NECA works.
I don't either. We already got a Christian Bale, so I only need Matthew.
Yeah, because I put my big balls on Christian Bale's forehead, and that's how I got that toy made.
You could do it like they're doing the Marvel Legends, where we get all the characters and we build our own dragon. That's the character we get. You get a little piece of the dragon or the tank. Either way, I'm good.
The Build-A-Figures.
The Build-A-Fig. But I'll take it. But
even with adult money, I'm like, I don't want to buy 8 toys where only one of them I actually want just to get my Build-A-Fig.
Dude, I'm with you. But you know what? The Build-A-Fig is as much as if you bought all 8 toys. So I'm like, I don't like this game anymore, guys.
Don't at all.
Adulting is
I
hard,
just want King
expensive.
Shark.
Yeah, that was the Build-A-Fig we kept trying to find, wasn't it? We were trying to find all the Build-A-Figs, and we did.
We did, but then you're like, oh, it's $25 a piece. And like, do I even
Yeah,
want
it was like
like,
gonna be like $120 for all of us.
It's like
Mark was really thinking about it.
he
Like,
had it, but it was
Yeah.
also like just 2 months after the movie. So, if that would have been within that 7 days of
He
seeing
probably
Suicide
would've
Squad,
bought-
yeah,
he
because
probably
the
would've
hype
bought
would have
it.
still been there.
We were all hyped for King Shark. That was all there was to it for that. But yeah, that's our action figure segment. Speaking of action figures, if you guys haven't checked out the Gimme Back My Pro Wrestling episode, they had an excellent interview with one of the original, I guess, executives from Remco that did some of the earliest wrestling figures. And they're starting a whole new toy line for, wrestlers that maybe haven't got any big releases or only maybe 1 or 2 figures. So why are you
He put-
giggling, Nate?
Because do you think he put his big balls on a wrestler and that's how the figure got made?
I think he was terrified of the opposite happening, that they were going to put their balls on
If you don't make a
him.
figure of me, my big balls are going to go on your forehead.
That's right. So, but yeah, I mean, speaking of action figures, I mean, and I know we're kind of rambling on about action figures, but it is a big part of what we grew up with. And as kids of the 80s and 90s, these movies came with action figures 90% of the time.
Dragonheart had toys. I saw them at a flea market here in Columbus like 2 years ago. I do not remember Dragonheart having toys at all. And it took a lot in me going, I'm about to buy all these.
Yeah.
I don't know where I would have put them.
I don't either. I mean, it was kind of like, we could have got the Robin Hood, Kevin Costner, action figures that were all like remolded Star Wars figures. Even the tree house was the Ewok village. It's like,
well, Kenner's like, we made too many. Slap another name on it.
Friar Tuck was the Rancor Keeper or the Gamorrean, one of those two. I think it's the Gamorrean body, and then they just put Friar Tuck's head on top of it. But that's what we grew up. But I'm serious. I would have bought the Ring of Fire toys. I mean, flat out.
It would have had a little button that you press that would have like shot,
Yeah.
a fire missile, and then if it would have had a vehicle, you could have filled that thing up with water, and then you would press a button or like a pump, and it would shoot like little water out.
McFarlane did a Dragon series, and the one I have, I'm showing Nate in the video, wasn't
a really sexy dragon.
It's
like
called
8 abs.
The Horrid, and it was like the beginning of the Dragon series. Like they released this and everyone like lost their mind over it. And I mean, if you stand him up, he's pretty freaking massive. But
He looks sweet.
The dragons have always been cool.
Yeah.
Period.
Without a doubt.
Never been a moment that dragons haven't been awesome. It still blows my mind. This movie didn't do, and honestly, I don't even think there's a cult following for this movie right now.
No, like it definitely hasn't found its second life yet. And it is on Hulu right now, but it seems like stuff doesn't find a second life on Hulu as to oppose Netflix or like HBO Max.
Well,
for whatever reason, those two streaming ones, that seems to be where stuff like finds another life, or like it automatically jumps into the top 10. You're like, really, this movie? But like Hulu, it never does. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't think this has a boutique Blu-ray release at all either. I have just a normal Blu-ray, and I couldn't help but laugh. I popped this bad boy in, and it was one of those Blu-rays that won't let you skip anything.
Oh,
and
jeez. The thing that we used to complain about with VHS tapes, but when DVDs came out, you're like, all right, I don't have to watch 19 trailers to get to the movie.
Yeah, or I don't have to watch it fast forward and hope I land right. No, this one starts out with, you wouldn't steal a car. I really thought about grabbing that music and dropping it tonight, because I'm losing it watching this going, Of course, 2002 Reign of Fire has the Please Don't Bootleg DVDs.
Please don't steal me.
Even to the point the commercial shows like the guy that has the picnic blanket out selling the bootleg DVDs and the two girls.
I remember back in the day when you would go to a flea market and there would be that summer's release already on DVD.
Dude, if you went to the right gas station in certain parts of Columbus, you could get movies before they were in theater. I'm not saying I didn't buy one or two, but they're not the best quality.
Oh, what a begotten time.
You'd see the shadow of a head walk across the screen because somebody
Never
walked in front of the camera. You're squinting not to see it, but to hear it. You're like, why do we squint when we can't hear anything? That's the other thing.
It's the same thing when we get lost and we turn down the volume.
You're right.
When driving.
100% true. It's like, damn it, I don't know where I am. Turn the radio, turn it down. I need to see where I'm going. How does
I need to hear where I'm going, damn it.
I can't hear my brain tell me, you dumbass, you made the wrong turn.
I need to blind fury this shit and get back to my sword.
That's right. Did you count? I told you to count.
I told you to count, and when you get to 30, that's when we make a right turn. This is why I specifically put on Freebird. That way, when it gets to the 7-minute mark and that badass solo comes in, that's when I know what exit to get off on.
Wow. I'm sure there's someone out there like that. Or, here's what's worse. Now we have the people that GPS their way home from work. It's like,
oh, yeah.
There's
a thing.
The episode of Parks and Rec with Aziz. He's like, you can go home. He's like, they took my phone away. I don't know how to get home. Well, he goes, I just hit the button on my phone and it takes me home. He's like, he can't get home without his phone. And I'm like, there's people out there. There's a reason you make that joke. They met someone that said that.
Yep.
Hey, we're doing a movie about dragons, Nate. Maybe we should talk about the dragon movie a little bit more.
I know one of my favorite parts in this movie?
All of it.
There is that.
Story time.
After they kill their first dragon and all the Englishmen are celebrating. They're having their very first win ever. Yeah. They needed this. And Matthew McConaughey's like, what the hell are you celebrating about? He's like, I lost 3 men. 3 men to 1 dragon. Maybe within 300 years, the odds will be even. That was so hard ass and awesome. And I get his point, but I also understand these guys really needed a win.
That's my whole thought. I was watching that again going, I love the whole speech he gives. It is very moving and it does put things in perspective. But on the flip side, and I kind of wish that would have been a good moment for Christian Bale's character Quinn when McConaughey's standing at the fire kind of saying his last rites to the men that died, is he should have went up to him and went, look, I get the sacrifices you're making, but you have to understand the sacrifices we have made. They just lost, people.
They lost their archangels too, on top of that. So it's they lost their experienced guys that take down the dragons.
But I meant Quinn, they had just lost people out in the fields when the one guy
before the Americans showed up.
Before. So it's they all have experienced the same amount of loss and struggle. I think that would have been, I think I would have appreciated a little bit more of maybe their understanding each other better, where you're like, okay, we're like two sides of the same coin. I'm on this side, you're on that side, but we're still experiencing kind of the same things that are going on in this world. And been yeah, okay, maybe I was an asshole to your people. I understand why you would want to celebrate, that kind of situation.
McConaughey is such a feral human being in this.
He is a beast, dude. And I mean beast as in, like you said, feral, animalistic.
But, yeah, he does have his humanity, though, because he does take some of Quinn's people to go out into England, and they all die. And, he has, a very humbling experience of, all right, I messed up. Yeah, I lost a lot of good men.
It literally berates people for 3 people dying. He comes back with his tail between his legs going, Yeah, there's only like 2 of us left.
I kind of got everyone killed. You're going to find this joke really funny. They're not coming back. Remember when I told them to dig their own holes and they can die in them? Well, they didn't even need to dig.
Yeah, I didn't even have time to dig,
I didn't.
so
I do like, though, like the nighttime scene where he loses all of his men. Did you get like Terminator 2 vibes from that?
completely. The tracks of the tank rolling past the
Yes.
skeletons.
This
I
looked
was
like
like,
the John Connor war that we never got.
that was every bit, which is funny because Christian Bale again. But it totally, it was Christian Bale in
It was. I forgot
Salvation,
about that
wasn't it?
one. Yeah.
Yeah. I was making sure I wasn't remembering wrong. But it was like this homage to a James Cameron kind of thing going on there. And I love the fact that it was at night. I think I would have been more upset had they never got to use the artillery that they showcase. And I know budget has a lot to do with that, and we do get some awesome helicopter stuff. But I was like, I got to see the tank go. I got to see the 50 cals get fired. And this firefight is amazing. But the moment when even McConaughey realizes this dragon's just playing with us,
Yeah. It does it in one pass, he even says. Like,
oh, it's whoosh, gone. But
Yeah.
they're following a road. Again, the dragons are animals, but it's not exactly stupid. It's like it's all everything attacking me is in a straight line, gone. That's how you deal with it.
even with after he comes back, we get an incredible shot of a dragon standing above the castle,
That
laying down fire. And like when you picture the medieval dragon,
Yeah.
seizing the castle or whatever, like this scene, that's it.
This is really
This was someone with their toy and they had their castle set outside and got to play with their dragon toy and make it burn down the village.
This is where I love that this is like a modern medieval story. Every element that we've grown up with hearing about Tales of Dragons, we're kind of like, this is the movie looking at us saying it was all real. So all the paintings or all the stories that they showcase earlier, like, all the myths and legends are true. They're giving us this visual cue of, yeah, our past people weren't lying. That's a dragon that just attacked a castle. It looks like the Disney kind of thing when the dragon comes out. Can't remember. It was a Sleeping Beauty that the witch turns into the dragon.
Maleficent?
Maleficent turns into the dragon at the end, and mix that with the demon. Fantasia, I think, is where the demon pops out.
The shadow demon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Fantasia.
That's Fantasia. So mix those two together, but make it realistic with the CG and the castle on fire, and being able to kind of see through the wings. They're very translucent. There's just this color and texture everywhere, and I would love that as a poster. I mean, it's just an amazing picture. It's like the Christine on fire. The castle on fire in this movie is fantastic.
So badass.
I love it. I love it, man.
And it's one of those things too, like Rob Bowman, the guy that directed this, he never, because of this movie flopping hard, he basically just went on to do a bunch of TV shows, whether it be X-Files, The Lone Gunman, which was that X-Files spinoff.
Yeah, I remember when that spun off.
Yeah, like he just never really got a chance to make another like big budget movie like this. And
that sucks.
I would be curious to see, awesome. Because like it doesn't help though, right after this movie, he made Elektra.
Ouch.
Yeah, probably one of the worst Marvel movies ever.
Yeah, I
not
don't think
MCU, but Marvel properties.
Those that know, yeah, it's not the Netflix Elektra.
Made just because of a contract deal, and that was it. Like, oof, rough.
That movie was bad.
Talk about just a bad 2-punch combo for this man.
They never needed to make that. They just never. I think right now that we've just got done talking about Elektra, let's just talk about this ending and quite possibly the reason everyone watched this movie after seeing the trailer. And they it comes down to a 3-person team. I was going to say 3-man, but hey, I'm going to try and evolve.
No, it's 3-person team.
It was a 3-person team, and they go into the heart of London, and basically it's like a ground assault. They have no helicopter. The dragon takes out the helicopter. They have no tanks. They have nothing except some explosive tip. They're not arrows, but they're
not the Rambo 3 arrows.
These things, like, I do appreciate that McConaughey goes, you got like 50 feet. That's about the range that these explosive arrows have. And I'm like, fair, I'll give you that one. I don't want to be within 50 feet of it going off, but okay. But we get like their plan of attack. McConaughey goes up top basically to draw the dragon in. And his ultimate goal is he's taunting it, but I also think he may have even was trying to at least get it lower to the ground by grounding it. But this is the scene, dude. This is the scene that to this day I get goosebumps. Every time I watch it, I almost tear up because I know what's getting ready to happen. This is just pure testosterone and feral beast animalistic rawness. Where is this McConaughey now? Give me this McConaughey
and I
back.
Definitely feel like Van Zandt believed he stood a chance.
I do.
I don't think there was a moment of like, I'm sacrificing myself. Like, I think in his mind he was like, you know what, this might work.
I got this. That's what's in his mind. I got this. He's on the water tower. This dragon comes in and he just jumps.
A leap of faith.
Battle axe in hand with the most raw roar.
Yeah.
It's a roar. He's not yelling. He is roaring and swings at this dragon. The dragon eats him. It's just like,
I
damn
remember
it.
being in the theater going,
yeah.
First time, I believe like, nah, he's got this. And like, they kill him off in a blink of an eye. And it's like, no, I want him to survive. Like, no.
And there's still times I watch this going, I want him to cut his way out of the dragon at the end. But then I'm like
he still does make his way out.
That actually cheapens the character, I think, the more I think about
that's where it'd be like, oh, this movie isn't realistic for a dragon movie.
He needed that death. He needed that glorious Viking death. He is in Valhalla right now. That is all there is to it. And that's the scene, man. Everything else is cool. They take the dragon down, they blow it, they shoot the arrow into its mouth, and it blows up in its neck, and the head falls off, which is awesome. Its head just goes whoop, and rolls over. And then we get them basically rebuilding, and Christian Bale doesn't even take back lead. He gives the younger kid that he's been helping raise.
Yeah, his little kid he's been mentoring.
Yeah.
And it does mention in dialogue that it's been 3 months. They haven't seen any. So the dragons were already starving. They were dying off regardless. So
the
this was kind of the perfect punch to kill the one male who was already exhausted from all of the pleasing he has been doing.
Yeah, I mean, that's why aren't they still repopulating? He's like, I'm tired, guys. I can't.
So tired.
There is no more Gatorade. It is gone.
There's no more Gatorade flavored ash.
There's ash. That's with an H. That's
Well, it's because after I have that Gatorade, then I get to have the other one.
Well, he ate that one, so she was like, "Hey, you in the mood?" And he's like, "No," and eats her. That's not what she meant, there, male dragon. All right,
that's Reign of Fire.
That's Reign of Fire. Matthew McConaughey, badass dragon movie. Everyone should watch this movie if you haven't seen it. Highly recommend this movie. Highly, highly, highly recommend this movie. So let's do a kind of surprising body count.
It's got to be pretty big.
Yeah,
whole world.
Yeah.
Leave anything for us?
Just bodies. Body count. Body count. Body count. Body count.
Now, we don't count the whole world, Nate. You know, this isn't the only reason we did that in Starship Troopers was because we watched Buenos Aires get, eviscerated and vaporized off the map. So that's why that one has
That's
such
the
a
only reason
high.
that one counts.
That one. This one, it just kind of happens over news clippings, so we don't count that. But still, for a movie with the human race that is kind of depleting and dying out and disappearing, 50 people still die in this movie.
Damn. Especially when there's not many people left.
There's not, but it's all of Van Zant's people. I mean, every soldier he has.
Gone.
I'm gonna say at least a third of Quinn's people gone, maybe more than a third.
I'd
really.
say maybe even half of his.
It probably did half. Then you had like all the kills at the beginning, with the mom dies, everyone that was in the tunnel,
The miners.
There is some visual kills as the dragons are attacking, but I did one of those carnage counts on YouTube, and it's 50. And it's funny when you get to the big fight scene between Van Zant and his crew against the dragon, they use a little coin sonic noise, and it sounds like, and it's just the kill count keeps going higher, 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 because it's just a dragon laying waste to everything.
It sounds like you won the slot machine.
It's exactly what it is. You got all the cherries. And
Nice.
50.
Always going for the cherries.
50. So, all right. Well, that's our body count, and that's going to lead us into our kill of the week.
Have you ever killed anyone?
Yeah, but they were all bad.
This is a tough one, man.
This is a really hard one to do when we create this segment because it's mainly meant for people killing people.
It is. You're
and
right.
We only get one. Well, we get 2 dragons getting killed.
Yeah, 2 dragons getting killed.
Now, I'm gonna make mine the death of the week.
Okay. Well, for this episode, we're gonna call it the death of the week. So, Nate, what is your death of the week?
Mr. Van Zan.
Same. I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you.
Death of the month.
Yeah. The greatest death ever.
Every episode in August will be dedicated to Mr. Van Zan and the sacrifice he made to take down a dragon.
Oh my God. There's no other. I mean, even the Gerard Butler one's kind of cool, but it's just the fire coming down the stairs.
This fire's coming down. Like, he doesn't die off screen, but it might as well be dying off screen.
Yeah,
it happens so quick. He's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna save us," and he takes a fire extinguisher, and then instantly dies.
Maybe one of the archangels, the guy that bites it, like it just whoop right into the ground. But no, in this movie, it's Van Sant 100%. I mean, it is the greatest scene in the movie. It's the greatest death in the movie. It is. I'm not joking, people. I shaved my head and I wore a goatee, and it was because of Matthew McConaughey in this movie. Period. I just love this look, and I'm still pissed off that we never got more action. Matthew McConaughey, he needed to do more. Why someone didn't watch this and go, okay, maybe the movie didn't do great, but that is greatness right there on screen. I mean, this guy personified that character 100%, and I don't care what anyone says. Loved it. So, all right, well, let's rate this bad boy. Like, that's going to be a big stretch.
Oh, man, I can't wait to see what yours is going to be.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Al Leong time. All right, we are going to give this movie our ranking, and Nate, you got to go first. It's the action, so you go first.
I will gladly go first. And to me, this is a solid 8.
Yeah.
It is a solid 8 film. It's really, I can't believe I haven't seen this in so long.
That surprises me.
I'm shocked at how well it's aged. I was really nervous that the CGI dragons were going to be bad. Like, I was really, really nervous going in that, like, given the time period of 2002, the budget this movie had of like 40 million, I was like, or 60 million, whatever it was. I was like, this might be one of those things where it's just like, well, at least the nostalgia's there. That's really great. But I was really shocked when I saw the actual puppeteers, like the practical effects, the actual flames being shot out. And I have no idea how they did it. Yeah. And the only time that the CGI was glaring is when they did use CGI fire, because of how awesome the real fire looked. Like, it just became very noticeable.
It almost,
but even
like,
then, it doesn't
pixelated.
happen often. Yeah. But like, the dragons look so cool still. So cool.
There's not a bad shot of the dragons in this movie whatsoever.
No,
I mean,
my
there just
only
isn't.
reservation with this movie, it does remind me of like the early superhero movies around this time period,
Mhm.
where it's like, all right, we get our origin story of our hero. He fights one henchman, and then he takes down the big baddie. We
Yeah.
kind of get the same thing with this movie of storyline wise, which doesn't bother me, given the fact of like you can't make this a guns a blazing action movie because these are people on the brink of extinction.
Right. I
So it
mean,
works in
that's
its favor.
it does.
It's just there's that little part of me like, oh man, come maybe we kill a little bit more dragons.
Yeah, I'm
But
with
then
you
that
on
would
that.
take away of how fierce the dragons are. So once again, it works.
It does. And right there with you. This is an 8 Leong movie. My my dad and I have shared a DVD of this movie for I don't know how many years. It's called I Want to Watch Rain of Fire. I'm borrowing this
You
one.
guys share custody of the Rain of
Yeah.
Fire DVD every other
And,
week.
and it's like I don't know why like I guess if I ever like had saw the DVD at Walmart, I probably would have bought it, but it was one of those that you just don't see it that often. And when we decided to do this, I'm like, screw it, I'm buying my own and I'm getting on Blu-ray. So this was the first time I watched it like in high def. And I was like you, I'm like, man, I've watched this on DVD so much. I'm wondering how this transfers to high def. It transferred beautifully. I was like, holy shit, this still looks amazing. And yeah, I love this. I watch it regularly, if not 2-3 times a year. Matter of fact, I had watched it earlier this year. It was the first time Anthony had watched it. And I was like, Dad, I want to borrow Rain of Fire. Anthony needs to watch this movie. And we watched
The
Rain of Fire.
Funny thing is, I was at Half Price Books and I bought this movie last year. It's one of those things like, when you buy a movie, you're like, oh yeah, definitely. But then by the time you get home, you don't want to watch it that night. And then like you
It
put it
sits
in
on
the
the
other
shelf.
room. Yeah. And then it's just kind of like, oh yeah, I do have that. And then just waiting for that right moment to watch it. And then when this got pitched, it was like, oh, well, sweet. Now I can finally watch Rain of Fire.
One of the trailers on the DVD was the Coast Guard movie with Kevin Costner and Ashton Kutcher.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it right now. But anyway,
I'm
the
going to assume that
trailer
was called The Guardian. That seems like that's what that
that's
movie
it.
was called.
That's what it was, The Guardian. You're right.
Now I do remember it.
So we're watching the trailer and Jackie's like, "Oh, that looks really good. We should watch it." I was like, "I own it. I've just never seen it." I literally own that movie and I've never put it in and watched it. So I am guilty of that for like
I've been
I don't
doing
know,
a new thing
10
where I put the stack of movies that I bought that I intend to watch above the fireplace. Like I put it on the
I put mine on my
banister.
Xbox. There's a
That-
stack.
yeah.
I don't want to turn the computer and I don't want to mess with my connection.
Not that I buy movies to like just put them on the shelf, but like the ones that I've bought recently, I'm like, all right, if I move them to the banister above the fireplace, now they're in line of sight. The only one I haven't is my RoboCop 4K because I've got the better TV in the office and I want to watch that.
Yeah,
in all of its glory.
that one's different. And I'm with you. I haven't stuck that one in yet. I bought it when it first came out.
I'm just gonna say now we're gonna cover that probably by before the end of the year.
Maybe I do have one I need to pick here soon.
Mm.
So we'll see. But no, I'm with you. I have a stack of DVDs like right to my left here, and it's like the ones we've started covering. Like I've gotten this bad habit of now it's like we're gonna cover this movie. I don't have it on Blu-ray yet. I'm gonna see how much it is, and if it's like $20 or less, I buy it. I was like, I don't care. I'm getting it. And so it's just building up my DVD collection. But well, I think that's good. That's good ratings on there. So I don't have a drop for this yet. And before we get into trash opinions, because I really going to break my heart, anyone that badmouths this movie. I feel like there's something we've never really never truly encompassed here. As on some of these movies that we pick, and it can't be all of them because sometimes they're cold watches or things like that, is how does this movie stack up to what we are called here, the give me back my action and horror movies? Why we picked this movie and how well does it hold up to the feelings we would get from movies from the 80s and 90s? And I know this is only 2002. We were just talking about it off air,
but that's still 20 years ago. As
Yeah.
much as we don't want to admit that 2002 was just like a couple years ago, it's
Yeah.
2 decades.
My brain don't function like that, man. 20 years ago was the 90s.
Kids are going to be having an early 2000 day like Spirit Week instead of 80s day.
Shush your mouth.
That is where we're at with this, all right?
Shush your mouth.
So this is an antique.
This is an antique. But I mean, still, I feel like this movie kind of gravitates towards the movies we grew up with, that dragons were always an amazing thing for us to watch.
This movie, like, I did grow up with because of me being 13 when it came out, you know?
Yeah.
Like, me being younger, this encompasses, like, what I love, even now as an adult, is dragons.
Dragons.
Simple as that.
Like, dragons, fantasy. Like, there's no sword in here, but there's a badass axe. So, you know me, if there's an axe in the movie, I'm in. You know, that's how this one feels. But this movie truly does give you that feeling that you experienced in those movies. You are excited. You're, on when they talk about the edge of your seat, when Van Zant jumps, if you're not on the edge of your seat, or you're not at least perked up, if you're staring at your phone, turn the movie off and throw it in the trash, because that's all, don't even be on your phone watching this movie. But if you're not like completely engrossed in what's happening,
and
I don't know what's wrong with you.
Critics bashing this movie when it came out, because I remember like after it came out and seeing it in theater and being like, man, that was awesome. And then disappointed that others weren't feeling the same way I was. But also, it makes total sense, because most of the films we cover on here is stuff that we love, but critics have bashed the hell and back.
Oh, I've never believed in critics. Never.
Like, there's moments where I do believe in critics, but not for these type of films. Like, your more drama-driven movies, like, yeah, of course. Like,
there's
that's
a
going for an award, like, duh.
There's a reason there's no action movie category in the Oscars.
Yeah.
There's a reason why even movies that are adventure or superhero or like Lord of the Rings, it's never an Oscar for the movie. It's an Oscar for the special effects. It's an Oscar for the music. It's an Oscar for anything but what the actual movie was encompassing. No one's winning best actors or anything like that.
But this is the type of movie, with how old it is, that you want to like show to the next generation. And believe it or not,
what I did.
Like, this is a movie that, like right now is the perfect time.
I think this is, as far as does this movie hold up to the nostalgia of the give me back my action or horror movies, 100% does. This movie,
definitely.
This movie is due for a renaissance. This movie is due for a cult following. People need to remember it. And if we're the ones that have to champion that's fine. This movie is grossly underappreciated and underrated, and it needs a better following. Now, as much as it pains me, we have to do Nate's his other segment, and we got to listen to some jackhole bash a movie I love. So let's play the drop.
I'm the trash man. I come out, I throw trash all over the ring, and then I start eating garbage. And then I pick up the trash can and I bash the guy on the head.
Oh, that's gonna be a disaster.
Nate, break my heart.
Well, this comes from Rat is Bonanza, who gave this 1 out of 10. Said it was complete bullshit.
I'm
normally
turning my headphones off.
Enough said, but I have to add some more text, even though this is a waste of time on such a movie. The movie has no real plot. It has no logic. It all. Bad acting. Socorpo being worse. Even the special effects are not really worth mentioning. If they were, this wouldn't help either. More than 20 years after Mad Max, another ripoff, sort of, but one of the worst kind. It's just amazing to see with which great fanfare such movies are being promoted, and even more surprisingly, being regarded in a positive way by the audience. Unfortunately, actors in Hollywood have had to do some of these movies to stay in business, because after having played in such a movie, I wouldn't offer any of them a role anymore, personally. He said the opposite of what we said.
I hate that guy.
Yeah.
He's the anti Give Me Back My Action movie.
That was back in 2007, so he was like 5 years late to the game.
That guy sucks.
Yeah, he's pretty stupid.
That's dumb. I don't like that. That is a trash opinion. This is aptly named segment because that is trash. I hope you're still out there trying to review movies. I hope you find our podcast and listen to this one.
Yeah, I hope you become a fan of us, and then you start from the beginning. You're like, man, I really like these guys. And then one day you come to this episode, and you're like, oh, I hate this movie, but maybe these guys will hate it too. And then it gets to the very end, and we call you out. And then you're like, no.
You have ranked up with Sass Action Hero. That's where you have ranked now, sir. You're on the list. You're on the list.
You're on thin ice, pal.
Get the list. All right. Well, he's wrong. We're right. That's all that matters.
Per usual.
That's right, man. Reign of Fire is a badass, amazing movie. I will continue watching it to infinity. I'll be in a retirement home, and I'm going to want to be, I'll be like, put on Reign of Fire. And I'm going to watch Matthew
the
McConaughey.
fire that rains. Batman.
I inadvertently did my Bane. You merely adopted the wheelchair. I was molded by it.
Father, do you have my copy?
I'm not joking about that. We shared the DVD. Now I got to give it back to him because I have the Blu-ray, but we shared a DVD of Reign of Fire. So I don't know. Is that better that I didn't own it, that I actually would go through the hassle to go to my dad's, get the DVD that he keeps in the garage with his television, and it would literally be, Dad, I'm here to get Reign of Fire. And then vice versa, he would come over like a month or so later going, you got Reign of Fire? I want to watch it again.
I just feel like
completely back and forth.
Before this drive happens, it's you going, I want to watch Reign of Fire. Then you're like going through the stack, going, where is it? Where is it?
Yeah.
Father!
It's exactly what it is, because I will not remember who has it at the time, and I'm like, where? Oh, damn it, Dad took it back again. Now I gotta go get it. But never have I went to go get it and then went, nah, not today. I have gone to go get it and put it in the DVD
I'm a man
player.
on a mission, and if I want to get it, I'm getting it.
I'm a man of my word. If I want to watch dragons, I will watch Reign of Fire. Fire, Batman, fire.
Jackie, get me my Reign of Fire. Popcorn.
Have you seen my axe? I have no idea how we got Bane into Reign
I
of
had
Fire.
a bigger axe somewhere around here.
I don't. That wasn't Bane. That was like, aristocrat. I say, by Jove, I think you're onto something.
Oh, gee willikers, I say you buy this fancy newspaper here, mitten by bank. Snake oils. You need your snake oils?
Have you seen the Time magazine with the dragons on the cover? I don't know. We're done. We're done. Stop it. Stop it, Nate. We're done. All right, guys. Thanks for checking out this episode. I don't know what's gotten into us. From the Blob episode that kind of went off the rails, I've tried to keep us on track here. Nate gets the giggles. We have to stop.
That seems pretty normal.
It's actually getting kind of normal for us. So, we got any shout outs we want to give? I mean, everyone knows the network shows that we have, and we always promote them. Who do we have out there that we need to give a shout out to?
Guys, you need to listen to Spoils of Horror.
Yes.
It needs to happen.
Steve and Leo, they're
hysterical.
They're awesome.
They do this in an hour. I don't know how they
I don't
do
know
it.
how. I don't understand.
Don't know.
There's no way
And to
I
stay
could do
funny
this in an hour.
and enticing the entire hour. I love those guys. I
The show-
really do.
Even movies which you're like, I'm never going to watch this movie, I love listening to the episodes. It's just
and
like
there's movies where I want to see it. I'm like, I'm not listening to that yet until I see the movie. And now because of these guys, I am going to seek out this movie.
I will not watch Greasy Strangler. That's all there is to it. Their description of it was perfect for me. I'm good.
I even wrote Steven. I was like, oh, what the hell is this? He's like, you need to see it. I was like, yeah, I'll try. But I'm not looking forward to it.
And I've always had this weird thing of I can listen to someone talk about a movie I've never watched, and sometimes it makes me want to watch it more. Like I'll do it with podcasting after dark, Corey, and then we'll talk about a movie, and I'll be like, I'm never going to watch it. I'll listen to them. I'll get done going, I want to watch the movie now. I literally went and bought a Blu-ray of Shivers, which is the Vestron release, and it's kind of like slugs and creatures
Yeah,
that
it's
take
the
over bodies.
Cronenberg. Like I think it's his first
Yeah,
movie.
very Cronenberg. And I listened to him going, I'm never going to buy that movie. I'm never going to watch that movie. I got done listening going, Corey said it was only $10. I'm going to buy that, and I'm going to sit down and watch this movie. And I did. And I sent him a message about it. He thought it was hilarious. But yeah, I mean, that's the effect these guys have. It's like a little community we got going on here, and they deserve the recognition, and they've earned it. And I think we should just pay it forward. So if you like horror movies on a little odd take, you think we pick some obscure ones. Those guys go hard.
Yeah, they do.
They really go hard, man. They didn't, other than they did Mosquito, and I was like, man, I wanted that to be one of our double features with Ticks. But I may still make you and Pete watch Mosquito. We may still do that.
It
one later.
sounds incredible.
We'll do it for next year. We'll give it a little bit of space between. But all right, man. I think that pretty much does it for tonight. Thank you all. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. We are on YouTube.
Yes. Thank you for tuning into our Prey live stream. And if you didn't, you can now go back and watch our Prey review that we did a live stream of.
Yep. Right now it's GMBMAM is the channel. I don't know if I'm going to stick with that. I think it's early enough. I can still change the name.
We can still brand it whatever we want.
Yeah.
But we'll have the links to it in the Facebook group. We'll have the links to it maybe on Instagram if I can figure out how to do it. I'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Though you'll be able to find us.
Yeah.
Also, I think you just type in Prey. Yeah.
Yeah. Live streams are coming to the YouTube channel where we will do a review that will not get released via podcast. It's going to be up on there. So you get to see our beautiful mugs.
Yeah. No, I'm sexy. I'll tell you, if you want to see Matthew McConaughey in real life, that's right here.
Yeah. And if you want to play a game called Is Nate Wearing Pants during this live stream, tune in.
That's the game we play over at the Action Elite one, too. It's always like we don't know who is and
who's going to be wearing pants and who isn't.
Yeah, but like I wanted to say it like on Nate. So the podcast episodes are going to be on the YouTube channel. They're going to upload just the same as all of our others on podcatchers. But anything that we do video wise is going to stay video. I don't want to chop up that to try and make a podcast episode. So it's just going to be like a little extra treat, not charging anything. It's not a subscription. It's not Patreon. We're just going to do it. Just having a nice little, extra that we can offer the people.
I'm hoping for at least once a month.
I would really like a once a month. I will see how well things go and how our normal schedule goes, just trying to record.
That's going to be the big thing.
Right. And we don't want to just show up and go, oh, what do you do today, Nate? And like, I don't know, Nate. We just talk about movies here. That's what'll turn into the live stream, except you get to see us do it.
You watched movies, did you?
Stream me. Let's end on that, man. Get us out of here.
YouTubes.
Get us out of here, Nate.
What's a good word?
McConaughey yell.
That was a very good episode, Charlie.
We are quite the podcasting pair, are we not, Nate?
Oh, you did a lovely job there, Charlie. I expect more of this.
I'm actually surprised you didn't do dragons with careers. That would have been spectacular.
Tune in next week as we figure out what kind of occupations that dragons would have if they could fill out applications.
I don't know if anyone understood a word you said, but same bat time, same bat channel.